We're going to start this morning standing up. I figure we should meet this new year standing. Finding our Tadasana, our palm tree pose. Hi, Sue. Billing, nice to see you. Come on in, everyone. And we're going to start standing. So get yourself up nice and tall. Did I hit record? Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. So nice tall stance, but a little loose. So let your knees get soft. Don't lock them. Let your shoulders wiggle for just a minute. Good. And then a nice tall stance. Lift your pelvic floor, lift your belly. Let your shoulders come up and back and down, just relaxing your shoulders. A little head wobble, wobbling your head on top of your spine. And then you can take your gaze to the floor for a moment or just letting your eyes close completely. Noticing your body. Starting at your feet, just work your way up slowly, feet and ankles, shins and calves, knees, and just engage those muscles. Feel the thighs wrapping all the way around. Feel the belly lift, shoulders broad, arms nice and soft but engaged. And then for just a moment, relax the muscles, pelvic floor, belly, everything, just to notice the difference. Your feet get soft, everything gets soft, just noticing. Good. And then one more time, engage the muscles. So your feet, maybe your toes lift a little, your arches lift a little, feet are engaged, calves and shins are engaged, knees and quads engaged, keeping everything wrapped to the bone. Pelvic floor lifts, belly lifts, shoulders lift, arms soft but yet engaged. And then loosen your toes if you gripped them. Good. And then bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. A special prayer of thanksgiving for Baba Haridas. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga. And with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice, asking ourselves, what do we need today for self-transformation? Forming that thought in your mind, and then making it into a positive sentence as if it were already happening, the Sankalpa, sacred vow. Repeating it to yourself 3 times. And then just burying it deep into your heart space. And we'll bring it back at the end of class. I'm going to chant an Om if you are where you can join in with me. I'm going to peel off at some point because I have an echo cancellation. So you'll hear like the start of an Om and the end of an Om. So you finish it at home. Inhaling. And then using an inhaled breath, fluttering the eyes open. And then just opening the arms up a moment, just up and out, like you're going to serve something on 2 trays on both hands. Good. Bend your elbows a little bit, just get nice and soft. Good. And then we're going to take those arms and press through the palms and just lift up as if you were yawning. Nice big lift, just yawn, yawn, and then lean a little over to the left, just leaning a little to the left, and wiggle your fingers and your wrist, making some circles. Good. And then back in the other direction, circles. Good. And then just press again, come back up to neutral. Good. And then just bring your arms back down to that little place where we have a serving tray. Good. And then begin to press up again. So use the ball of the hand, not so much the fingers are back and flexed, And lift and lift and lift and lift. And then lean a little over to the right. Just leaning. You continue to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your wrist in a circle. Good. One more. Lift, 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 lift. And then come back up into the center. And then this time, taking your arms down, but palms facing up from the shoulders. So palms are facing up, all the way up. Begin to lower the arms and the hands. And then we're just going to pronate, just turning the palms to the back. Good. Okay. Let's start with our left shoulder, just making really nice, smooth circles. If it gets lumpy in there, just pick it up and go back. But go back and get where that little lumpy part was. And then to the other direction. So keeping that circle nice and smooth. Good. And then just little circle for a minute, both directions, just little tiny circles, and then relax. And now let's start with the right shoulder. Nice big circles. And like us, if you get caught, just come and get it and then go back in the same direction. Yeah. And then change directions. Nice big circle. Feel it all the way up into your neck, into the scalenes. Just stimulating those subclavian veins that are going to accept all the lymph that's going to rise up today. Good. And then little tiny circles for a moment, just with that right shoulder, little bitty circles, both directions. Good. And then just going to open for a minute our chest. So not quite using a twist, but and don't twist in your low back. So we're just kind of moving, swinging the arms. Notice my knees are bending so that I'm not taking it into my hips or my knees. A couple more. Good. And then come to neutral and just let your arms float down. Just see how they feel. Keeping your nice Tadasana stance. Good. Just floating, floating, floating for a moment. Okay. And now circles with our hips. Just medium-sized circles with the hips. Roll your knees and everything. So this is affecting ankles, knees, and hips. Good. And then go to the other direction. Good. Excellent. And then lifting up. Good. So for just a moment, we're going to do it Tadasana to Urdhva Tadasana. So coming up on the ball of the foot and then coming down. So really working those pumps, which are our calf muscles that bring the lymph up, coming down. Up and down. Quads are engaged. Whole leg is engaged. And down. One more time. Up and down. Good. And then let's make some circles with our foot. Just circle. You can always hold on to a wall or a chair. Other direction. And then just kind of shake out the leg for a moment. Good. And then the other one, circles with the foot. And then other direction. And then just shake out the leg. Good. And then coming back into your Tadasana. Good. Nice and tall and even. Great. So we're going to do a little bit of our cat pose, our Vidalasana, but we're going to do it standing. So how we're going to manage this is the first thing we're going to do is go, oh. And then we're going to come, oh. So nothing's really, just moving the spine. Oh. Just letting the spine flexion and extension in both directions. Pull more. Good. And then just come back into your neutral space. Excellent. Okay. Now, having done that, we're going to go into some traditional wide-legged poses and see if we can find those elements that we just did that really made these poses a little bit easier for us. So open yourself up nice and wide on your mat. Good. Make sure your heels are out behind your toes so they're not in at all. So your heels are really nice and out. So you're just in neutral. Good. And then wiggle your hips just a little bit right there. There's not much movement that can happen. Just a little movement. Yeah. Good. And then we're going to externally rotate the right leg. Good. And then bend the knee. You can go with it for a second and just feel yourself in that Tadasana line for a second. And then feel what it takes for you to come upright. And where does that affect you? Where does it feel in your hip? Press into the outside of your left foot. You can lift the toes of the left foot. Good. And then straighten the leg. Unrotate. And then let's rotate the left leg. Just rotate it. Make sure your right heel is still out. Good. So you can go with it initially, get that long Tadasana if we were like in side angle pose. So you can get that long position. And then see what it takes to come upright. Let's bend our knee. That'll make it a little bit easier. And then come upright and pressing into the outside of the right foot. Good. Okay, so good. Nice and tall. And just feel how that is in the body. Pelvic floor is lifted, belly's lifted. Good. And then straighten the leg and unrotate. Great. Now we're going to go back to the right side. Rotate again. You're keeping the spine upright. Good. Bend the knee. And then arms are going to come out initially from the shoulder. So look how I'm taking my shoulder. I'm opening the arms from the shoulder. Good. And then just pronating with the forearm. Excellent. Now just look down and make sure you've got your big toe. You can see it because your knee is back on top of your ankle. So you can see your big toenail. Good. And then taking your gaze, let's just move our head back and forth initially, where we lock it down over the right arm. And now looking out to the right. Good. So this warrior pose, see if you can lift the pelvic floor, pull in your belly, and sink down just a little bit. You may have to spread your back foot out a little more. Good. And then let's reach forward towards side angle. So reach, 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 just getting that diagonal line. And I'm going to take my hand and place it on my thigh, but I'm not going to dump any weight into my elbows right behind me. And this arm is sweeping first up to the ceiling. And then I'm flipping the palm so that the thumb is now facing behind me and coming right in. So looking for that long line of energy. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Good. We're trying our best to avoid a curve here. Just keeping a long line. Good. And then opening the arm. Just moving back. Good. Dying warrior. That's what my kids called it. There's probably a better word, but they felt that this would be dying warrior. Okay. And then we're going to straighten the leg for just a moment, just to feel the difference when we move. Straighten and get a nice long line of energy through your rib cage. Good. And then bend the knee again. Come back into warrior two. Good. Now straighten the leg and come out and release the arms. After this next side, I promise we'll go forward and get a nice little move there. So now we're going to externally rotate the left leg. Maybe be sure you kick out your right heel so it keeps you stable. Good. And then initially, bending the knee. Good. Make sure you can see your big toe. So that means your knee's not falling in, right? Your knee is out over your ankle. Good. And then arms floating up. And then from the shoulders, open your arms nice and broad. Good. And then just pronate with the forearms. And again, let's take our neck either direction for a moment before settling and looking out over our left. Lifting up through the pelvic floor, lifting up through your belly. Breath is in the chest, right in between the shoulder blades, front and back. Fill the whole barrel of the chest. And then see if you can sink just a little bit deeper into the pelvis. What does that require and where? Good. And then we're going to reach forward towards side angle. Reach, reach, reach. Put our hand down on our leg. Arm initially just reaching up. That assures that our chest stays open. Sometimes we'll have a tendency to go like that, right? So we want to be nice and open. And then flip the palm toward the side. Thumb is behind you. So looking for that long line of energy. Beautiful. And then we're going to move up and into dying warrior. Arm floats up. Good. Excellent. Just a few breaths. And then we're going to straighten the leg for just a moment. And then bend the leg and come back through our warrior two. Gazing out again over the left arm. And then let's release our arms. Begin to straighten the leg. When it's almost straight, unrotate. And like I promised, this time we'll go forward. Just letting yourself come forward. Find what we often call a flat back. Of course, the back's not really flat. We have our curves. But find something that's relatively parallel to the floor for a moment. Stay there. Put your hands at the top of your thighs. Press in, just kind of keeping those tendons nice and safe. And then coming forward slowly. Just surrendering your upper torso to gravity. You can take your hands to the floor. Your hands can stay on your legs. Wherever you can hold your elbows, whatever you'd like to do. I'm just going to watch for a second, see what you chose. Good. And then no matter where you are, we're going to go a little bit over, look at your left foot, and just kind of look over there at your left little toe. Just kind of look over there for a minute. Good. And then come back into the center. And then let's look over at our right little toe. Just looking for a moment. Feel a nice opening in your left rib cage. And then come back into the center. See if you can enter into this space, maybe another millimeter. And then bringing the hands to the top of the thighs where they started. Press in and come up nice and slow. Slight bend to the knee, slight bend to the knee, come up. Good. And then heel, toe, toe. And good. Beautiful. Excellent. So let's take a standing shavasana for just a moment. So just relaxing the muscles to the bones, the ones that we just used that were firm. So just letting your feet get soft, arches get soft, shins and thighs, calves, belly, pelvic floor. So just note what you don't need to use to stay upright, just letting the postural muscles have you. Couple more breaths, soft body, soft muscles. And now we're going to engage them with purpose. So lifting your toes initially, re-engaging your feet and your arches. Lift in your shins, use your quads. So lift the shins by using your quads. Good. And then lift the pelvic floor, feel the pelvic floor engage, so muscles are engaging. For a moment, I'm going to just drop my toes because I have a tendency to keep my toes up and sort of tense. So I'm going to release my toes. And then I'm going to really lift my belly. So my belly is stable. And that brings my breath into this area, right into your chest. Good. Shoulders up and back and down. Great. Excellent. And then I'm going to turn to the side of my mat so you can watch it from the side for a moment. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of flag pose. We're just going to go forward and do that same cat pose we were doing. We're going to do it in that lunge of flag pose. Okay. So I'm about 3/4 on my mat, 3/4 in front of me. Take a nice inhale and exhale. One leg forward. I'll tell you one leg because you can use whichever one's best for you on the screen. Good. Back heel is up. So back heel is up. So we're not taking a warrior two. We're taking flag. And you may want to move. Just see how you settle. Good. So flag pose, arms are up. And we've got that little bit of cat that we had with our open heart, open sternum. Right? And then we're going to push away. Okay, come up. And push away. Again, one more time. Come up. And push away. Good. And then rest your hands on your knee, front knee. Go back a little bit more until you can get your hands on the ground and your knee on the. Good. Now hands back to the knee. Great. And then I want us to see that little bit of thoracic back bend that we need here. So we're going to press up. So we have a right angle with our trunk. Okay. And then just that little thoracic back bend. And then push away. Good. And then for just a moment, take your hand, the one that can meet your leg, your front leg, and then open your back leg. Open your back arm. Sorry, your back leg you can't open. Come on up. Make 3 windmills. Great. Okay, let's step briefly into plank. And then we're going to just walk ourselves right back. Again, 3/4 into 9. Good. Okay. Same thing. We're going to step forward now, the opposite leg, just stepping it forward. Back heel is up. So get yourself nice and situated so it feels stable. You've got weight in the front, weight in the back. So you're not dumping into the front body. Good. And that back bend happens just from this area. So we're just following the low back curve, not adding to it. Arms up, flag. And then we're going to push away. I'm trying to look and fall and come back. And push away. So round the upper back and back, and push away, and back. One more. And good. And then gently, we're just going to reach our leg back a little. We can get our hands and our knee on the. So initially, hands to your front knee. Good. And then press up. Good. And then again, that same thoracic back bend. Now, really feel your heart looking at the sky beyond our ceilings. And then push away. And up. And push away. And push away. Good. One more. And push away. Now, I do happen to see a block. I have one. If you'd like, you can always put a block under that hand that's coming down to the floor, opposite your foot. And then we're going to do 3 large windmills. 1. Let your knee travel. 2. Don't let your knee travel. Sachin, don't let your knee travel. Good. Perfect. Okay. And looking down. And then we're going to step back. Let's just step back to our knees for a second. Just right to our knees. Let's take a couple of cat, well, let's take 4 cat poses here. Inhaling and exhaling. And you decide where you need which breath. And then finding that neutral spine. Good. And so just reaching back for a moment with whatever leg you'd like. You're going to let them meet. Good. Reaching back. And then release it. So just stretching through the calf. And then come back with the knee. And now other leg, headed back. Really press through the heel. Stack the heel right over the top of the foot and press through. And then release it. And then for just a moment, one leg up, other leg up, one knee down, other knee down. 2 more times. Leg up, knee down, knee down. Leg up, knee down, knee down. Okay. Good. Go ahead and curl your toes under for just a moment. And I'm going to press up into mountain pose, often called downward facing dog, just for 5 breaths. So decide if you want to invert this morning or not. If you have, it is a half inversion. If you have high pressure problems, glaucoma, if you're on your menstrual cycle, this may not be the pose for you today. You can always press to plank, or you can just lay on your belly for just a little bit. Okay? So pressing up. Looking for that long line of energy from the middle finger up through the sit bones. Until my knees are deeply bent and my heels have never touched the floor. Even when I straighten my legs and lower my heels, there's no way they're touching the floor. So that's not the goal. The goal is to create a peaked mountain with your lower body and your upper body. I think maybe I've talked 5 breaths worth. So come back through plank for just a moment. Drop to your knees. And then come back. Either sitting on your heels or grab a block or a pillow and sitting there for a moment. Good. And we're finally to the floor for the first time this morning. Okay? Good. So just a few moments sitting here. So ask yourself, where are your knees in relationship to your hip bones? I'm going to grab a block and I'm going to show you from behind how many ways we can actually execute this pose. So this is Vajrasan. So Vajrasan, we can have our heels touch. Vajrasan, we can have our heels underneath our sit bones. Vajrasan, we can tuck our feet in together and make a lovely little basket. Or we can take a block and put it between us. And then we'll separate our legs because we're in a thunderbolt. So we're not in a rotation. So from the front with the block, it looks like this. They're no longer touching because the minute I put my knees together, I'm in Virasana with internal rotation. Okay? So finding your Vajrasan. Let's bring our arms out to the side. Good. I'm going to flip my palms. And then I'm going to just flip my left palm back down and continue to take it down, 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 down. And then the right palm, and then the left palm, and then the right palm, and then the left palm. Good. And the right palm, and the left palm. Good. And then both facing up again for a moment. Good. So we're going to take the right arm down and around, and the left arm up and down. Good. Just a little Garudasana arms. Excellent. And then we're going to release and be starburst. This big star for a second. Okay. And now the left arm, thumb comes toward me, thumb comes toward me, comes toward me, comes all the way back and then around. And this one stays nice and close in external rotation and then reaching down. Good. So one's an external, one's an internal. Nice tall spine. Don't let your neck get trapped. Good. And then we're going to just release and one more starburst. Big arms. Good. And then let your arms and shoulders relax as you put the back of your hands on your thighs. Just sitting for a moment with the back of your hands on your thighs, receiving. Good. And then we're going to leave that pose and come into Dandasana. So just swishing our legs back. I'm going to sit on a pillow. I have a little very thin pillow that I'm putting my hips on because you don't want your pillow to be high, so high that your knees are dumping down, okay? And if that's the case, put a little something under your knees to support them as we don't want hyperextension in the knee joint. Good, so nice tall spine in Dandasana. Looking for that right angle with your body. So your femurs are headed out, and your legs are headed out, and your whole pelvic basket and spine is headed up. So you should be on your sit bones. Go ahead and just rest your hands either on your knees or before your knees. Good. Ankles are not touching, heels are not touching, just the toes, the toe knuckles. Good. So think for a moment about Paschimottanasana, which means forward dorsal stretching. So stretching the backside. I'm going to go to the side so you can have a better look. So I'm sitting up. My knees are soft. They're not pressing down. Okay. Big toe knuckles are touching. Heels are separate. So I'm in this right angle with my legs. I can press here and I'll have less movement on this part of my dorsal body. Or I can lift my knees a little and have more movement on this part of my body. So we're going to do, as we go forward, we're going to surrender our spine. So the thoracic spine goes in that direction. So we're just adding all of our spine. So you can tuck your chin into your chest. The crown of the head is headed out toward the feet. And if your knees are as bent as mine, your hamstrings are moving out of the equation. You can even bend them more. You just want a nice stretch throughout the pelvic basket and the whole of the spine. See if you can surrender just another half of a millimeter. And then before you do anything, don't look, just drag your hands back by your hips, press into your hands, begin to look forward towards your feet, press into your hands, and then press into your hands and arms to come up, not just your back, not using just your back, having all the support of your hands and arms. All the way up to neutral. Good. And then we're going to reach behind us and bend our knees about halfway, like right where your shin is, put them there, because when you come up into this reverse table, you want your ankles over your knees. Good. Just lifting for a moment, lift your belly. And then just sitting your bottom back down between your hands. Good. Okay. And then extend out through the legs one more time. This time we're going to open them up wide. So open the legs nice and wide. I'm going to go back, put my pillow nice and wide. Good. Okay. So if I were to go front and forward into Upavista Konasana, but I'm not, I'm going to make a little twist over. And we're going to turn this into a modified Janu Shirshasana. Okay, so I'm going to draw in. So the leg is still in abduction, but I'm going to draw in the heel, flex the foot. Good. And notice how you're in the middle, but you're going to add this little thoracic twist. And head out. And Janu means knee. Shira is the crown of the head. So you're tucking the chin into the chest and getting round. Place your hands on the floor on either side of your thigh, because that's what you're going to use to come up, not just your back muscles that you've just stretched. There's no such thing really, but stretched. Good. And then we're going to look out past our knee, out toward the shin, toward the ankle, toward the foot, and then using your hands, press yourself back up, all the way up. Sitting nice and tall for just a moment. Notice that you're going to release your twist. Good. So it came right back to the center. And then extend out, right leg again. Just be here for just a moment. And our internal Siri is recalibrating. Okay. Now bend the other leg in. Bend it in nice. Good. And then remember, we have to have that little bit of a twist. Good. And then just walking your way out, putting your hands on the floor somewhere around your thigh or your knee. And then begin to round and tuck your chin into your chest. Flex the right foot. Hopefully feeling some sensation around your ribs. Giving lots more space for breath. And then slowly begin to peel the chin off the chest, looking at your knee, your shin, your ankle, your toes. And then using your hands, press up and then walk your hands back, coming all the way up. And then untwist, right back to center. Good. Okay. One more time with both legs out. Good. This is our Upavista Konasana. And just walking in a little. I have very little mobility here, so you're welcome to do whatever you'd like to do. We probably have some face planters in the room. So just do whatever feels good. I love to round my spine here, tucking my chin into my chest. And then gently looking down at the floor, looking out, getting longer and taller, coming up nice and slowly. Good. And then just reach back behind you and give a little bit of your sternum to the ceiling. Just reach back a little sternum. Good. And then gently bring the soles of the feet together, sitting up nice and tall. Good. Nobility. Sitting up nice and tall. Good. And we're going to make one more circuit of energy by rounding our spine. So imagine that the Shira Padasana. So imagine that you can take the crown of the head toward the arches of the foot, and they don't have to touch. I'm going to do my version so you can see. I'm curling, 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 and there's that circuit of energy from feet to crown of the head. So wherever you'd like to take this, curling, creating a circuit of energy all the way through your body, from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. And then very gently, see if you can go a little tiny bit more. Just surrendering to gravity. And then bring your hand, don't move, bring your hands inside your legs, right inside, push your hands in, and then use straightening your arms to come up, pressing the floor away, coming up nice and slow. Good. And now we're headed down to the floor. We're going to do our Shavasana, and you're welcome to take another inversion, although your mountain pose is half an inversion and very good for helping to drain. But you're welcome, if you are inverting, to invert. And if you're not, then join me in an early Shavasana. Okay? Remember when you shouldn't invert. You're on your menstrual cycle. If you have glaucoma, if you have high pressure problems, if you have uncontrolled blood pressure issues, no inversion. Okay? Just keeping it all nice and simple and smooth. So you can either invert or join me for Shavasana. Corpse pose. Babaji says this is the hardest pose. This is the hardest pose of all. So hard to let go. And all of my lovely pittas that want to leave before Shavasana starts, we're the ones who need it most. Okay. But just doing a quick survey when you get there of your body, and try your best to surrender to the floor as best you can. Breath is totally uncontrolled. Just letting the universe breathe you. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness back to the body. One last little sink into the floor. And then begin to wiggle your toes and twinkle your fingers. Sense of touch. Moving your tongue in the mouth. Sense of taste. Wiggle your nose. Sense of smell. Wiggle your ears if you can. Sense of hearing. And blink your eyes or roll your eyes in the sense of sight. All of our information pathways waking up. And then consider a nice big overhead stretch. Just lengthening through the toes to the crown of the head, all the way through the arms. And then gently bend your knees and put your feet firmly on the floor. Bring your elbows back down beside you. Lift your hips and just shake them out a tiny bit. Shift them over to one side and then drop your knees. Bring your knees off your feet off the floor and drop your knees to the other side. And take your shoulders with you, just curling up in embryo pose. Think about new beginnings, leaving behind anything that no longer serves you in that old corpse pose. And then we'll begin to press the floor away, spiral ourselves up to a comfortable seat. We'll be here for another 10 minutes, so make sure your seat's comfy. It's a little chilly in my room. I'm gonna add my shawl. Right. So our pranayama today, our controlling of the breath, is going to be super, super simple. It's called Dirga Rechan. So all we're going to do is pull in and inhale as efficiently as we can, and then send out a slow, smooth, gentle, even exhale, just like you're pulling a golden thread, okay? So just inhaling as efficiently as you can, belly breath, chest breath, yogic breath, whatever kind of breath you want, and focus on your exhale, okay? Beginning as you're ready. And then letting your next exhale end the practice and just sitting and noticing for a moment the quality of your breath, the quality of your thoughts, and how's your body. We're going to slide right into our meditation. If you have an object of concentration, please bring it into your mind. And if you haven't yet created one, today we're going to do a pool of light. So you hopefully over these weeks that you come to class, you'll find one meditation that agrees with you and stick with it. Probably you would say for a minimum of 5 to 10 years to see if it works. Okay, so finding your object, or join me in feeling that we're sitting in a pool of light. With every single inhale, the light comes up the spine until we're finally just filled with light. Just staying with your light body, okay? So either your object or light. Dropping in, breath is soft and uncontrolled. Just letting the universe breathe you. The mind is wandering. Lovingly, kindly bring it back. Slowly bringing your meditation to an end, just letting it go gently. And back into the senses, the smells, the taste in your mouth, the seat below you, any sounds, my voice, other ones. And then with a gentle inhale breath, letting your eyes flutter open and bringing your hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Any merit we may have earned this morning, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Remembering your sankalpa and 3 times repeating it to yourself, your sacred vow. And then remembering anything that might need a little extra energy, prayers, thoughts, petitions, bring those things into your mind. And then gently let all of these swirling thoughts drop down into our heart space. Symbolically from our heart space out into the very palms of your hands, and then just lift them up and let them go. Just off into the universe. Just let go. And bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste.